I'm using a circular saw for the very first time, so hopefully things don't go bad. We got no brakes on this car. We're rolling down the hill and we going fast. This is satisfying, ladies and gents.
Yeah, are you saying that we're gonna rip it up?
Rip it up!
Rip it up! Rip it up!
I'm Kristen and this is Matt. We've spent the last 4 years sailing our $5,000 Craigslist boat to some of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. From spearfishing in South Andros, Bahamas, staying in a treehouse and riding horses through the rainforest of the Dominican Republic, to even dodging hurricanes in Puerto Rico. We could have never imagined what this adventure would become. After gaining more sailing experience, we knew we had to make some serious upgrades to our boat if we wanted to keep this journey going. So we decided to go all in with our 40-year-old boat and get a new engine. We soon realized that we were in for more projects than we originally planned on. There's going to be some major changes coming up, so hit subscribe and join us for the journey. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sailing GBU. We are back in the boatyard and we've done a few projects. If you're new coming onto our channel, what are the projects we got done, Matt, so far?
Bulkheads, destroyed and replaced. Windows, destroyed and replaced. Cabinetry, just destroyed. Has not been replaced yet. What else?
That's basically what we did. We did our bulkheads that have the rigging on them and our wall bulkheads that also have rigging on them. So today we're getting into something new and I'm pretty excited about this because this has a lot to do with me. And that means we're jumping right into the V-berth to get my humble abode, my bedroom, my nice study room, my edit room, my cry room. Okay, let's just get to work. Let's go, guys.
So it's super dark in here. We gotta get some light in, so I gotta move my AC setup.
So we've been using my V-berth as pretty much a workshop. It has all of our tools set up in there, so let's clear those out and then we can get started on demoing this place.
Demolition Darlene's back in action.
No, boatyard Betty. Alright guys, so this is our V-berth. It has weird vinyl walls that are moldy that I've cleaned 100 times and the mold just doesn't come off of them. I've used a million products, so go ahead and leave me some more ideas down below, but I've tried them all. And it has a weird cabinet that Matt kind of slapped together, painted white, and it's kind of weird too, and I can't really use it because of a lot of different reasons. We'll get into that. But first things first, we want to rip everything out. So we're going to rip the cabinet out first. Then hopefully the walls and the trim that's put in here.
Yeah, are you saying that we're gonna rip it up?
Rip it up!
Rip it up! Rip it up! Oh! Tools of the trade for this are gonna be our impact driver, and since I'm gonna strip all those old non-stainless steel screws that I'm sure I used, I got my reciprocating saw so I can cut through anything that won't come out.
So this is what was behind my cabinetry.
Yep, and when I built the cabinet back in the day, I said I don't want to build a backing because I might have to go up there and fix something someday. And lie detector to test determined that was a lie.
Really? You don't have to go back there so you can put a backing on it?
I just never had to go up there. I'm going to put a backing on it now, but I'm going to make the whole thing removable in one piece so that I can
rip it
take it off. Yeah, I mean, obviously the chain plate is up there that holds the forestay. There's some plumbing in here for the anchor locker. There's obviously the windlass here, so you need to have access to this, but or if your chain gets stuck or twisted, you have to have access. But I'm going to make a backing so that all Kristen's jewelries don't fall back where the anchor locker
I don't have
goes.
jewelry.
But yeah, and it exposed this old cheap LED lights. I would say don't get these because they almost burned our boat down one time. So if you're going to get strip lights, pay top dollar for them. Otherwise...
Yeah, it literally smoked up in here.
Lord Jesus.
Finally time to pull off this vinyl. As you can see, I originally had it. It was like a nice light cream, and now from the sun, I think it's the sun, it turned like yellow. And it's just ugly and I hate it, so I'm ready to get rid of it. We glued it in, so it should be easy to rip off. Yeah. This is satisfying, ladies and gents. Okay, I guess I gotta get more into this. Yo! Yeah! Don't worry guys, I'm okay. Okay, one piece done. 2 pieces done. Last and final piece. Ah! Just some rotted wood coming down. Matt, are you enjoying watching me struggle? Goodbye, yellow, dusty mold hole.
Alright, so this right here is the old classic Hunter wallpaper. It's really nice, as you can tell, but we're going to go ahead and get some new stuff, even though we really love this.
We do not, we hate it.
It's textured, it probably looked really nice back in the day, and it's held up really well through the years, but it's got to go. As you can see here, my fiberglass flap, that is to make a watertight like mini bulkhead so that water doesn't come in from the windlass and leak on the cushions and bays V-berth in here. That would obviously be a code red. So that's the watertight there, but it's seen better days, so I'm going to beef it up a little bit, and I'm actually going to raise it a few inches just because when I build this in, we're going to be using it more, and I really want to make sure that nothing gets wet in here. I'm going to bring this thing into 2022.
Alright guys, so we got that fiberglass in. Now we're just jumping straight in. We got no brakes on this car. We're rolling down the hill and we going fast. We're going to put on our walls, and what we decided to do for our walls is shiplap. I know, sounds crazy. Don't get scared, guys. It's gonna be awesome. So what we have to do is pretty much measure and figure out how thick we're gonna do them, then we're gonna have to cut them, and yada yada yada. So let's get right into it. We don't want to waste no time. Do you have anything to say about my shiplap idea?
I'll hype for it. I just don't know what size we're gonna do.
And we don't know if we're gonna keep it wood looking or if we're gonna paint it, but no matter what, we're gonna seal it so it's not gonna rot. Alright, so we're dry fitting them in. We're trying to see how it's going to go, how we are going to get them attached in, and I think it's looking pretty good. I am thinking I might want to paint them white, but I haven't decided yet. What do you think, Matt?
I'm thinking I did a damn good job ripping these boards for not having a table saw.
Yeah, you did a good job. Alright guys, it's another day and we are going to keep working on our boards. We need to sand them, we need to finish them, and we're coming across a little bit of a problem how to install them in here, but we'll catch more back up on that a little bit later.
Yeah, it's not fitting in flushly. It's not ideal, but I think it's a small hurdle that we'll be able to overcome.
Alright guys, so good morning. Yesterday got a little out of hand for us. It took a lot longer for those boards to dry, and then we had to flip them and repaint that stuff. And
super windy.
Super
Hurricane
windy.
Katrina.
One of the boards almost came up, smacked me in my face. And then on top of that, the neighbor's boat's lines popped, and Matt was running around the marina trying to find the guy, and ended up just tying them up for him. And hopefully, I mean, this morning it looks fine. He's still not back to his boat, so had to save a boat. But today we're back to the boards, and we are going to finish that V-berth wall. I don't care what we have to do. I don't care if it's crap and we just put it up there. I'm done with that project because it's been frustrating. So let me bring you in there now and talk to you about the problem that we're having and why we can't just glue those boards in and call it a day.
So basically the wall pinches toward the front and slopes going down, and then has like a dead 90 at the bottom. So the pain in the butt here is, obviously we could go off the bottom. I could put a board right on that angle, butt this up against it, and it would look perfectly fine and smooth right there. A little bit of sanding, whatever, and then everything else would just go up smoothly. Problem with that is this line goes down. It drops in elevation. Ow. It drops. And so what happens if you're sitting here with the lines, you get a bunch of lines kind of sloping down, and it just looks like a limp hole. And it doesn't work for us. So you have to get the line straight. So what happens when you're kind of like this, even though it could be fine over here, now you get a big winger coming out this way, and then you get this big winger coming up, and there's just no way to get it to work in there. So
basically say it's simple though. I think he's making it sound a little more complicated. There's basically the wall comes out on a little bit of a ledge, and we're having trouble getting the boards placed properly and the lines looking good.
Yeah, because they're thin. I went with this for the weight. Obviously, we could do a real shiplap and add 300 pounds up here of wood, but I don't want to do that. I wanted to do it lightly here, so I think what I can still do is make 3/4 strips, 2 of them, and then make 1/2-inch strips, 2 of those up here. And on every seam, I'll have something slowly crescendoing down, I guess. It's not a crescendo. Crescendo goes up. Either way, the opposite of that. It's going to slope. It's going to fill in those gaps and give me something strong to go against. Obviously, I could just glue one of these to the wall, and that would make it flat, but this flexes a lot. And, you know, we lean on this wall. We cuddle in here. You know, this needs to be structural.
What happened?
I think a sailor would know a little more about how the wind affects things. This took off on me.
Today's a big day for me. I'm using, what do you call this, Matt?
Circular saw.
I'm using a circular saw for the very first time, so hopefully things don't go bad.
Next step, I got to put my beads on the wall that are going to give me a more flush surface to mount to. For this, I'm using marine grade sealant. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, what the hell, boy, gotta use liquid nails in the comment. But if you saw my last video, taking off my windows and trying not to break them, they were only held on by this silicone sealant, and I ripped them all and cracked them all getting them off. This actually holds really well, and the reason I'm using it, whereas I could use liquid nails or something a little more permanent, I want this to be solid, but I want it to be semi-removable. If I have to get in here and do something, run a wire, or take something off, I get a hole in the boat and I gotta take it out. I don't want it to be like crazy where I gotta get a chip and hammer to break it out. So this holds really solid, but you're able to take it off if you ever change your mind.
Alright Alright guys, so it's been about 30 minutes. Our braces, we had to hold them in place. They're dry now, and it's time to finally glue on the walls. It's going to take a really long time because we're going to have to glue them on and hold them onto the wall until they dry, and the next one and the next one. So here we go!
So I have a little bit more work to do in this corner, but the cabinets come to here, so nothing from here forward will even be seen, basically from there up. So everything's going to look really good, just a little few more fine tunes, but the bulk part is done and I pretty much know how to do it, so I'm happy to move forward.
Alright guys, so that was a pretty challenging project. I don't know if I advise that to most people if it's not a flat wall, but it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. It's gonna work, and we're gonna do the other side off camera, and that's gonna make it a bit easier. If you didn't know, filming makes everything 100 times longer, so we'll get the other side done a lot faster without filming. And then we're just gonna keep going with our projects. If you guys have any ideas what I should do for where that white wallpaper ripped off, let me know. Leave them down in the comments, because that's probably gonna be down the road project, I would think. So we'll probably be able to get your comments. And like and subscribe. And anything you have to say?
So next is going to be the cabinets I want to get started on. That's going to be like a little bit bigger of a project, but I left a lot of my old tabs in, so my quadrilateral cuts and all those weird shapes that I have to figure out will be a lot easier this time, because I can just put a string line, measure from those old cuts, and it'll be no big deal. So that's going to go really well. Hopefully it doesn't bend me over a barrel like this last project does, or did, excuse me. And it just goes a lot smoother. It's a little more square. It's drawers and things like that, which can get a little bit touchy because you have to be perfect on them. But I think it's going to come out a lot better. That shiplap toward the front was, it was a beating working out that little corner there. So I'm glad it's over. Well, I'm glad it's over for the most part. And I'm sure you guys are glad it's over too.
Alright guys, make sure you like and subscribe. I know I said that already. Check out our merch. If you haven't got merch for the new year, you might want to look. There's some few new items on there. If you think you already got one, maybe you need to go get yourself another shirt. So we'll see you guys next week. Oh, and subscribe. I said that already like 3 times, right?
Are you guys going to subscribe or what?
Bye.